Bum ba ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba ba bum bum ba bum bum ba ba dum ba ba dum ba ba bum ba bum bum ba bum. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Monday night mini medicine card reading. I apologize for being late. I was engrossed in a graphic novel and lost track of time. Oofda. Hello, I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to pull some cards. So come on in, say hi. The first 6 people to write yes in the comments get a 1-card reading tonight. So come on in. All right, Roulette and Joe are first. All right. Thank you guys for showing up again. I am getting myself ready. Give other people a chance to know that we are on, that we are live. And happy Talk Like a Pirate Day to y'all. I'm really not that good at it, but I love the idea. Apparently, 20 years ago, starting 20 years ago in 2002, September 19th is officially International Talk Like a Pirate Day. And it started with a couple of guys playing racquetball, I think. And every time they'd have to lunge for the ball or they'd get hurt or something, hey, Esperanza, they'd be like, arr! And they were talking about how cool it would be if there were a whole day where you had permission to talk like a pirate. And so, because it was one of their ex-wives' birthday on September 19th, so he had that date stuck in his head, they made it September 19th, so he had a different reason to celebrate that day than his ex-wife's birthday. So that is the origins of Talk Like a Pirate Day. So I've been watching clips of Errol Flynn all day, and I'm just smudging my cards. Esperanza, did you want a card too? You said hello, but I wasn't sure if that's a yes or a... Of course you do. I'm sure you do. That's a silly question. Why would you be showing up if you didn't want a card? So, for those who haven't been here before, again, let me introduce myself. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And every Monday night at this time, we pull medicine cards. Hey, Leslie. All right, we got Esperanza. Leslie, did you want a card? We pull the medicine cards, which work with the animal totems, the spirit animals. And for the first 6 people who say yes in the comments, and Leslie is a yes, they get a 1-card reading. But let me remind you that if you are watching this, everything you see and hear is part of your reality. Therefore, it is a reflection of your inner world. So anything you hear or see during this video, whether the card is aimed at you or not, know that that is your guidance. If it rings true, if it resonates, take that as your guidance as well. And then I've been pulling a card at the beginning for everybody, and then I was thinking about it today, and I realized, the people who end up coming in late are the ones who don't get a card, so I should pull that general card for everybody at the end. So we're going to do that a little differently tonight. So, and I ask, my asking price for this video, it is free, of course, because this is one of my joys. This is one of the highlights of my week. I always look forward to this time with you. But as an energy exchange, I ask that if you could, you would share this video. You can tag someone in the comments. You can share it to someone's wall, share it to your own wall, share it to a page or whatever. But share away. Sharing is caring, and I appreciate that so very much. All right, so let's just get right on into it, shall we? Roulette is first. Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something else, but I'll try to remember it before we get done. Thank you, Roulette. Thanks for sharing. All right. Roulette. Ha-ha! Roulette, you got, excuse me, Black Panther. Yeah, I usually do one for everyone first. I'm going to do that one last because I figure people coming in afterwards are probably the ones who aren't getting getting card readings, and then they didn't see the very beginning of the video, seeing as it's a first come first serve. So I'm going to do the general one for everybody afterwards. So that's going to be the last card I pull. So for you, Roulette, we got Black Panther. So Black Panther is about embracing the unknown. And I'm getting kind of a download. Not only the unknown concerning the world around you, like going into the unknown, but the unknown within you. The darkness within us, our shadow, it's like you're in a perfect position to explore that shadow within, that darkness within, you know, the undiscovered country within you. You know, it's dark because it's unknown, but there is so much inside of you. Hey, Cricket, did you want a card, Cricket? So Roulette, a lot of times when people come for card readings and stuff, it's about the situations outside of them. It's about, is this going to work out? What am I going to find if I do this? What about that? And I'm getting it really strongly that the Black Panther card for you is talking about inner exploration. All right, Cricket, you are on the list. Yay. Does that make sense, Roulette? It's like, you know, Black Panther is about that sense of adventure. Being the captain at the wheel, right? Arr, matey. Try to bring in pirate talk as much as I can tonight. But it's because it's captaining your own ship, right? And exploring off the map. You know, here be dragons. It's like going off the map, going into the uncharted territories to, you know, You've gained enough strength in yourself, enough courage, enough confidence. You know yourself very well. And so you're at that place to say, okay, what's behind that tree? What's around that corner? What else can I do? Who else am I, right? So, and there's enough, it's like, it's almost a congratulatory card for you, because it's showing how far you've come to this place of trusting the universe enough to know that there is nothing out there that can take you down. And so life becomes an adventure. And so it's like I still keep thinking Errol Flynn, like the next challenge, like, we will take them, lads, whatever. That is the wind that will carry us to freedom. Yeah. Oh, so okay. So you like the pirate talk? I'm not that good at pirate talk, but I love it. And Errol Flynn is my all-time favorite actor. And Douglas Fairbanks, all the pirate movies. So I love that kind of stuff. But so be the pirate. You are on an exploration to explore the unexplored parts of yourself. And it's exciting, rather than the unknown being this dreaded, oh crap, what am I going to find out about myself? It's like, oh, cool. What am I going to find? You married Joe because of Errol Flynn? Joe looks like Errol Flynn? I have to start bugging Joe about that. So I hope that helps, Roulette. But it's like, it's really to be taken as a sign, as a recognition from the universe. Okay, I can't wait to see a pic of Joe like Errol Flynn. That'll be awesome. The universe is giving you the recognition that the universe recognizes how far you've come, how hard you've worked to get where you are. And now, it's all about the adventure. It's all about the exploration. It's all about digging up buried treasure. Yeah, and there is nothing to fear in the darkness. All right. Awesome. All right, Joe, Mr. Flynn. Let's see who's going to come up for Joe. We have one more spot left. Who did I see pop up afterwards? Nancy. Hi, Nancy, if you're still there. We have one spot left if you want a card. If not, that card goes to my lovely fiance, Valerie, who's on her way home right now. But, all right, Joe. Joe. Nancy, did you want a card? It's good to see you. I just wanted to know if you want a card or not. So Joe, you got Mountain Lion in reverse. Okay, Nancy, you're on the list. All right. So Joe, Mountain Lion in reverse. Didn't this come up for you a few weeks ago or something? Same. Mountain Lion is about leadership. And I know you did a lot of work around territory, and that's Mountain Lion is very territorial, um, very solitary. It's almost like it might do you some good to spend a couple of days on your own, kind of your own little mini vision quest. You know, I went on a quest a couple weeks ago, but it might be time to seek out some solitude so that you can get that feeling of who you are, you know, your baseline energy feeling without the influence of anyone else's energy. Without the distractions, without the phone, TV, or whatever, and just sit for, you know, a day, a couple of days, you know, even sitting in silence, going out. I know there's a lot of, you know, do camping if you like to camp. That's ideal, sit out in the woods. And I also know I've done this a couple of times. There's a number of state parks now that have yurts that you can rent, like for the weekend or for the day. You can go sleep in a yurt and then go walk in the woods during the day. But it's kind of like reestablishing. It's not like the reverse part isn't like this big, oh crap, you screwed up kind of thing. It's more along the lines of needing to strengthen those boundaries, needing to strengthen that territory to reclaim what is yours and nobody else's. And that's how you become a leader, right? Because you have to know who you are in order to know how to relate to others. And so it's kind of, it's nothing drastic. I think there's just a need for some solitude, however you can find that. You know, a day or 2 days would be ideal if you can get some time. You even rent a motel room and just, you know, I said like away from TV and stuff, but that's what I would do, but that's not necessarily, you know, and write or do art or whatever calls to you, or just sit and journal, or just sit with no expectations, no schedule, no obligations, and see how that feels. It's like, I know you've done a lot recently kind of establishing your territory. At least I seem to recall that. I hope that's correct. And it feels like maybe the territory has just gotten a little bit into that gray area. Yeah, awesome. That makes sense to Joe. Awesome. Yeah, so Joe, and we all need that. When I did the Vision Quest just recently, one of the facilitators was talking about way back when she had heard about like the ideal thing of spending 3 days a month alone in the woods. And it sounded really great to her, but she was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to do it because I have this job and everything. And within a week, she had just out of the blue, she lost her job. It was like Spirit made it possible for her to do it. But I'm not saying that's going to happen for you. That was an example. But yeah, just to reestablish that connection to Spirit, reconnect to yourself. And that way you're in a better place of strength and power to hold those boundaries, hold that ground. And it doesn't have to be in a confrontive way. It doesn't have to be out of conflict. It's just like, nope, I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about that. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I just can't do that this weekend. and without need for explanation or justification. Just no, no, no is a complete answer. All right, so we have Esperanza is next. Yay. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's see. Esperanza, the one coming up for you is skunk, and it's coming up in reverse. And skunk, people might laugh at first, but skunk is actually really powerful. I work with skunk medicine quite a bit because if you substitute the whole idea of the scent with energy, it makes sense. It's like when skunk comes up in reverse, it's time to look at your energy, where you're putting your energy, where you're maybe taking on energy from others. Skunk in reverse can be that kind of indiscriminate spraying, giving away too much of your power, giving away too much, and it can be coming from a place of blame, like trying to figure out whose fault is it that I feel this way, or, so that blame or pointing fingers. I don't know that that's necessarily true for you, but it can be this disbursement of energy. It's like you're not leaving yourself enough to function properly. Does that make sense? Like I was saying with Joe just now, there's a need to kind of consolidate your energy to pull it back in. Learn to say no. And put yourself as your first priority. If people are asking you for help and you're helping them from a sense of responsibility or guilt or, oh, I have to help them, but it drains you, then if it drains you, it's not doing them any good either. Okay? It's important, especially for someone as sensitive as you, someone as empathic as you, to really, I don't want to say guard, I don't want it to become this like clinging. You got to cling to your energy. You got to protect your energy at all costs. It's more about integrity, and not from like the ethical integrity, doing everything right, whether anyone's looking or not, but integrity as far as like the integrity of a ship. If a ship's hull loses integrity, that means the hull has become weak. There are leaks or cracks in the hull, and that undermines the integrity of the ship. The ship can sink. And so it's about being whole. Integrity in that sense means being whole. And by the same thing I was just saying about not giving your energy away too much, also giving yourself credit for how far you've come, for how strong you are. I mean, look in your past and see how many things you have come through, even by the skin of your teeth, right? But you have survived all of that, and that's you. That is your strength. That is who you are. Other people may have helped. Other people may have encouraged you. But it's all you. You have to give yourself that credit. So rather than, leaking that energy by, like, oh, I can't do this myself, I need help. It's okay. Let me qualify that by saying asking for help is a strength. It's good to ask for help, but at the same time, knowing that you are capable, knowing that you are powerful, knowing that if you need help, because of who you are, you attract that help to you. The universe is reflecting what you need. And so again, to give yourself credit for manifesting, even if someone is helping you, take credit for manifesting that person being in the right place at the right time. That is how you consolidate your energy. Because if skunk is just indiscriminately spraying or sending his energy out, giving his power away, when it comes time to defend himself, he's got nothing left. Awesome. This was the first week you've been delegating things to your kiddos. It's a relief knowing they can help you. Perfect. That's exactly what I just got chills. That's exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to carry the world on your shoulders. You can take care of yourself. You are strong. You are capable. What else, Mr. Skunk? And it's when you realize, it's kind of like that way that you learn karate so that you don't have to use it. Because once you learn karate, you carry yourself different, your energy is different. So most of the time people don't challenge you. It's kind of the same with skunk. Skunk is really about reputation and how your energy precedes you. And so if you're putting out that energy of completeness, of wholeness, you might still ask for help, but it's coming from a place of power, realizing that we're human. We all need help sometimes. And so by doing that, you keep that concentrate of your energy to yourself. And rather than giving it away, it's simply radiating from you. It's like you're a light and you're radiating that love around you. And that, the ability to defend itself, take care of itself, is what allows the skunk to remain the cute, cuddly woodland creature that he is. It's a both and. It's that the masculine being able to take care of yourself, hold the line, defend yourself, that allows the soft feminine, inclusive compassion and love, right? So don't be afraid to be both masculine and feminine, like to have it, and that's what we're all here to try to do, right? Balance that masculine and feminine. But you're doing great. I think, as again, kind of like with earlier with roulette, it's like I think this is a sign of how far you've come. It's like this is where you're at. You're not out there lost somewhere. You're in the process of consolidating, of reclaiming your power, reclaiming your energy, realizing how much energy you have in a day, how much you are able to do in a day without draining yourself. So knowing how much help you may need or whatever, it's actually a sign of how much you've grown and that you're doing really well and that it's okay to raise a stink if you need to. Okay? Awesome. I hope that makes sense, my friend. All right, Leslie, you are next. So I haven't really asked. I know I have changed to awesome, Esperanza. Perfect. Working getting all your pieces back. That's exactly it. Love you too, Esperanza. You are so welcome. Love tingles. What was I? Oh, so since I have changed format a few months ago doing these one card readings, I'm just curious. I haven't asked, it hasn't occurred to me to ask, but how do you guys like this? Do you prefer the one card readings, or would you rather do like we did it before where I pulled 3 cards and you chose a number and got that card? I kind of like this a little bit better because it's able to pinpoint a little more for people. It's not as generalized. And then, like I said earlier, then people who are watching that, even if a card isn't specifically for them, there's still so much good stuff there. Okay, Roulette, you love it. Nancy loves it. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. We will keep doing it this way. I think I like it better this way too. I like being able to actually help specific, like individuals, help specific people rather than the general, New York Times horoscope kind of version. Awesome. Joe loves it too. Thank you, you guys. All right. So we will keep it up. Leslie, you are next. Who is gonna walk with Leslie this week? Leslie. So the one that came up for you this week is Mouse, and she came up reversed. So my first impression whenever that happens is, are you feeling a little overwhelmed? Is the world seeming a little big? When Mouse comes up, especially in reverse, it's that old saying of don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. When Mouse comes up, it's time to it's kind of like the power of now, the being present. Keeping it simple. Focus on, like Mouse, focus, step by step. Mouse's world is pretty small. Mouse doesn't worry about the cat that lives 3 houses away. Mouse doesn't worry about what's going on in the next block. Mouse is focusing on the next tasty piece of grass that she finds. And so it's really about presence. It's knowing that. So turn off the news. Know that, and this is how I approach it. It's like I never watch the news. But if there is anything I need to know, I'm gonna find it out. I mean, through social media, through someone telling me or whatever. Know that, okay, we're going to have a lesson in quantum physics now. So, according to quantum physics, the universe is a giant hologram. A hologram is an image, a three-dimensional image, where every part of that image contains every other part. So, like, if you remember, if they used to have, like in the 80s, they came out with the holographic bookmarks, like with dolphins or Quantum Leap. Now I got that theme song in my head. So like the bookmarks, with like the 3D images like dolphins or Mother Mary or different things. And if you were to cut that bookmark into 3 or 4 parts, you wouldn't have 3 or 4 parts of one image. You would have 3 or 4 complete images. When you cut it in half, you have 2 full images. If you cut those in half, you have 4 complete images. And so you are a particle in the rest of the universe. And you contain the entire universe within you. Right here, right now is all you need to know. Right here, right now is all you need to be. And, you know, coupled with like the law of attraction and those kind of things, you create your reality by your frequency, your thought patterns, and wow, I wasn't expecting. I was like, I keep trying to figure out how to simplify it, but it's so we're gonna. I don't know if you've ever heard of Schrodinger's cat, but Schrodinger was a quantum physics person, theorist, and he did a thought experiment where he put a cat in a box with a vial of poison with that had a 50% chance of breaking open, and then he sealed the box. And so until they opened the box, that cat was in a state of both being alive and dead. There was a 50% chance. But until they opened up the box to see what was there, the cat was in this state in between. That's the way, this is going to sound goofy, but that's the way the world works. Whatever is within your immediate perception is the only thing that is true and certain. Everything else outside that bubble is a field of energy, a field of possibilities or probabilities. And it doesn't become solid until you look at it. Does that make sense, Leslie? I hope that makes sense. So that all you really need to pay attention to is what's right in front of you, literally. And again, as that holographic particle, everything you do and think affects every other particle in the universe. And so it doesn't matter what someone's doing on the other side of the planet. It doesn't matter what someone's doing in the White House. It doesn't matter what's going on in the block next, 2 blocks over or whatever, because you are complete in yourself. And you can trust the universe to bring you only those challenges that you are suited to. It's about your frequency. And when we go into that place of worry and fear, we draw on the things that make us worried and fearful. Doesn't necessarily, like they say, it's like 99% of the things we worry about never come true anyway, right? And so you focus on the now. You've got enough air to breathe. You've got a roof over your head. You've got, I remember what I said earlier, food to eat. You're good. And this moment is complete. And then the next moment is complete. And when you connect to yourself, rather than focusing out there someplace and allowing your frequency and your well-being to be dictated by what other people say or do, you know that you are always all right because you have a direct line to Creator. You are connected to God, to the divine, to Goddess, whatever you want to call Source. You are directly connected. And they talk about, even in the Bible, how, humans were created in God's image. Well, God's image, God is a creator. We are creators. We are co-creating this reality around us. And so by focusing on what's in front of you, by focusing on the joys, the passions, following your bliss, like Joseph Campbell used to talk about, then nothing else matters, right? And the universe clears that path for you so that you get to do what you want to do and nothing else matters. And, and along that same lines, even if, well, number one, the news, who knows what prejudice the news has, the media, it's kind of Schrodinger's cat. It's 50% whether what they're saying is true or not true, right? And so we don't know exactly what's actually happening. Depends on who's telling the story. And the other thing is, no matter what is happening out there, my favorite affirmation is, only good can come of this. No matter what it is. And it could be like something horrible, and all of a sudden you find out there was this other thing underneath it that was clearing the path, that was, it takes a moment for a change of perspective to flip everything on its head and to see the good in everything, and the last thing I'm going to say is to bring up that quote from Einstein again about how the biggest decision you will ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. If you're on a spiritual path, you know that there is connection. Everything is one. It's a friendly universe. Everything that happens is for your highest good. And I'm not going to get into all the arguments about karma, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But because it comes down to perception. And when you know that you are connected directly to the divine through your heart, then you can trust your heart to tell you the best path to go, how to circumnavigate the obstacles or the challenges, or to face the challenges head on and to grow from them. Okay? Hi, Ada. Yeah, we start at 7. So, I hope that helps. It looks like from your comments that it makes sense to you. Ada, yeah, we've got 6 people already. We're actually on our 5th card and one more, but I will pull one for everybody at the end. Good, that makes sense to you, Leslie. Only good can come of this, no matter what it is. There is always a completely harmonious solution. Doesn't matter what it is. There is always a completely harmonious solution. Yes, trust in the universe, Roulette says. Good has always come for me even when it looked bad. Perfect, exactly. When I look back on all the horrible things that may or may not have happened to me, all the danger I thought I was in at the time, and even the bad things that happened were some of the biggest quantum leaps I've taken in my own growth, in my own expression of myself. So there you go, Leslie. You're doing good, okay? Just keep it simple, keep it small. All right, Cricket, you are up. Ha! Cricket. Oh, okay. Cricket, you got 2 cards. 2 cards literally jumped out of the deck. So we've got Dolphin and Swan in reverse. Those are the 2 cards that just jumped out of the deck for you. Dolphin is about breath. Dolphin is about connecting, like I was just talking about, connecting to spirit, but more specifically, connecting with the breath, like meditation. I don't know if you meditate. I don't know what your spiritual practice is, but you're doing really well as far as connecting. It's like Dolphin is, like I always say, that in a lot of languages, the word for air and the word for spirit are synonymous, sometimes the same exact word. So if you think of dolphin as a mammal in the ocean who needs air to breathe, dolphin constantly has to rise to the surface to get a breath of air, to dive into the water, to navigate. And so it's that perfect example of what, like, Dr. Wayne Dyer used to talk about, of being a spirit having a human experience rather than the other way around. And so because you are spirit is your default setting, you have to rise to spirit, rhythmically. I always recommend like twice a day, once a day at least, to do whatever. It doesn't have to be meditation, but anything that connects you, makes you feel connected to spirit, to remind you of who you truly are. Now it's upright, which means you're actually doing a good job of that you're realizing more and more, seeing that perspective, and the word buoyancy is coming into my head, like realizing your natural resilience, your natural buoyancy, that when left alone, you naturally rise to spirit. Your thoughts, your emotions, when left alone, naturally rise to the surface. Rise to spirit, rise to who you are. Your frequency, by surrendering to who you are, is how you raise your frequency. It can't be done by effort. So that's the first card. That's the first part. It's like you're doing a great job of balancing spirit and physical, right? Then with Swan in reverse, Swan is basically, in most cases, the story of the ugly duckling. You've probably never fit in. You were always felt self-conscious about those things that make you different from everybody. But that's because you are a swan who was raised in a duck world. What the duck? And so you're always pointed out what you were doing wrong, why you were out of place, why you were awkward, because you were being judged by other standards that didn't include who you were, who you are. And so with the swan coming up, and reverse isn't a big deal. This is the path you're on. You're swimming toward this. You're lightening up. You're seeing the play. You're seeing the lightness of the world. Realize that it is through joy that you attain your swanhood, you know. And to look back with the perspective of seeing that everything that has happened has helped you hone who you are, right? And so every misstep, every hard Jeff, Hogwarts kind of guy living in a muggle world. Exactly. And if you're watching this, it's probably true for you as well, no matter who you are, if you're watching this. And so there wasn't... It reminds me of this Alan Watts quote of, "Let me help you or you'll drown," said the monkey, placing the fish safely up the tree, right? What feeds other people, what helps other people is toxic to you. And so it's been a hard road trying to navigate through those, having to claim what is true for you over the qualifications of others. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. But as you're coming into this place of feeling who you are, feeling that taste of joy, rather than turning around and, blaming, "Well, could you have done this to me? If only you'd have done this, I could have been better," blah, blah, blah. It's like taking those pearls of wisdom, like the pearl in the oyster. The pearl starts as a grain of sand that's irritating the oyster. Somehow a grain of sand gets into the oyster and it irritates it. And so the oyster starts to wrap it in that mother of pearl. And out of that irritation, boom, comes this valuable jewel. And that's what all these experiences in your past, these irritations, these conflicts, they are the place of pearls. And so they each have value. They add to your value. And you are meant to be seen. You are meant to inspire. You didn't go through all the challenges you've gone through just for your own benefit. Your story is meant to inspire others, to give others permission to find their own swanness, to look on their past and take the good from their past, see everything as the stepping stones it is to realize their swanness, and to become this pure snow white bird of inspiration, right? That everyone looks at, jaw-droppingly beautiful. And so all the challenges, all the hardships have been leading you to this. And you're right on the brink. It came up reverse, but you're on the brink of it. You've already got the basics down. This is in reverse because you're in process of realizing that. Okay? So, I hope that helps. And Nancy. Nancy is our next contestant. Our next and our sixth person. So if you came in late, I'm sorry. We are on our last card, but I'm going to pull a card after this one that covers everybody. So if you're come in late, you didn't get a personal card, hold on. There's one coming for you, okay? Whether you had a card or not. I always pull a card for everybody. And pay attention to the other cards that are pulled, even if they're not specifically for you, because you'd be surprised at how much might pertain to you. Oh, good. I'm glad that made sense, Cricket. Oh, hey, Jefflin. Sarah, hi. My good friend Sarah, dear friend. I miss you so much. All right, Nancy. Nancy, you got possum. Everything is possible. Possum is, of course, the actor of the animal kingdom. So when possum comes up, it shows what do I want to say? If nothing else, it shows how clearly you see the drama of the world, the drama of other people's lives, maybe the drama of your own life. Possum is the reminder that you are the actor, not the character you are playing. You are not the ego. You are not the body. You are not the personality. You are divine. You are source energy. That's who you are. And so these dramas that we play in this world of duality, this is all a big presentation. This is all a production. You know, life is a stage. And so when you realize that, then you're not so easily caught into the drama of other people's lives. And it's not that you don't care, but you have better things to do, right? And the thing is, when you realize that you are beyond this world, that you are in the world but not of the world, that you are just an actor, then like Shakespeare said, then it's like the slings and arrows are not, they can't penetrate you. They have nothing to sink into because you're not of this world. Possum is immune to snake bites and all kinds of poisons and venoms. I heard someplace, I'm going to have to recheck my stats because I don't remember exactly now. And I want to make sure I'm giving true information. But I heard it was like 80, it takes like 80 some rattlesnake bites before an opossum will feel it. And so when you realize who you are, when you're coming from that place of spirit, then nothing of the physical world can really harm you. I mean, your body can be harmed, you can hurt, you can get sick or whatever, but the real you of you is indestructible. It is beyond death, right? And so it's a reminder to keep that, you know, one thing I love to keep reminding myself, I am not my thoughts, I have thoughts. I am not my emotions, I have emotions. I am not my body, I have a body, right? So when you keep that, there's nothing anyone can do to change that. There's nothing anyone can say that is going to change who you are or what you are as divine energy. Don't know how many more you can endure. You're actually doing pretty well according to Possum. The other thing with Possum, okay, knowing that you're beyond this world, knowing that you're beyond any drama, gives you the power to play possum, to say no. It's like someone comes at you, it's like, nope, we are not having that conversation. I am playing dead to that. I don't have to answer my phone. I don't have to answer that email. I'm done. I'm playing possum. I'm dead to that. No. And it's okay to say no, because you are the writer, the director, the creator of your story. You are the hero of your story. So one thing you might try, knowing that you are the hero of your story, knowing that everyone else in that story are bit players, they're supporting actors. You are the star. You get the choice of what you're going to engage and what you're not going to engage. Sometimes the only way to win is to not engage. Okay? And a way you can also help is to, I learned this from Kyle Cease. This process he calls Kai Lego. It's like the combination of his name and someone else's name. And, but he was going for this interview, and he was all freaked out. He was all nervous. He was all anxious. And then all of a sudden he went to his friend like, hey, remember when you were taking me to go to that interview and I was so anxious? Man, I had nothing to worry about. Remember last year when I went to do that? And you put yourself in the future, and you can do this with a friend. You can do it, just write it out like you're writing an email or a letter, and just put yourself like a year from now and tell your story from the end of the story. You're in the middle of the story right now. Go to the end of the story and tell it backwards. Yeah, remember when all that stuff was coming at me and I was so freaked out, but that one day I just remembered who I was and that no one could harm me. And from that point on, every day I felt a little bit stronger and a little bit more immaterial. Like people would send stuff at me and it would just go right through me. And so I found my own power, and I found that ground to stand on in order to become the best person I possibly could be. Does that make sense? A lot of times when we get to our breaking point, like it sounds like you're at right now, if you think of the hero, I don't know if you know about the hero's journey as given by Joseph Campbell, but if you think of the circle, and the hero's journey is basically behind every story that exists. And so something happened, the hero is at home, everything's fine, and then something happens, a conflict or a need or something shifts that causes the hero to need to leave home into uncomfortable circumstances in order to find something, to find that herb that of immortality or the, whatever, to save the farm. And so you leave, and coming around, like when you get to that breaking point, it's like you're halfway around the circle. You're at that point. If someone was writing the story of your life, Right now is where the miracle happens. Everything seems hopeless. Everything is in despair. It's like, I don't know how I'm ever going to get out of this. And right at that point is where, if someone were writing your story, if someone were making a movie of your life, right now is where a miracle happens. This is true in every story that ever existed, and it's in every. Our lives are stories. So remember, at the darkest point is where the light comes in, and that's where you start to swing back upward toward home, and you return home realizing you had the power all the time. Knock your heels together 3 times. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. You have within you everything you need. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening around you. And this stuff is happening in order to bring that hero out. You are the hero. So write your story from the future, from the end of the story. And like I once heard an author, wow, it's going to be a long night tonight. We're almost done, but I forgot the name of the author. She was a sci-fi author, and I got to see her speak one time, and she was telling how she writes her stories. And like she'll map out the entire story, and she'll have like the main conflict. And she'll have it all figured out, and then miracle happens here. That's what she writes. She doesn't know yet how it's going to happen, what the miracle is, but she's like, in parentheses, miracle happens here. So keep looking for the miracle. Know that. Don't, and like they say on The Secret, don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. You can do this. This wouldn't be happening. And I'm not trying to say, God only gives us what we can handle and everything happens for a reason. I'm saying this is an opportunity to ignite that Wonder Woman, that Amazon, that Captain Marvel within you, to take down all obstacles. Okay? You can do it. I believe in you. Okay? Awesome. All right, so that is our time. Valerie, I see that you just pulled in, my fiance. We already had 6 cards. I'm going to let me do one more card for everybody, whether you got a card or not tonight. Thank you for your patience. I decided today, it really occurred to me that it makes sense to do a card for everybody at the end when people coming in late didn't have a chance to ask for a card. It made more sense to do it at the end than at the beginning. So we're going to pull a card now for everybody. All right. So the card this week for everybody is Prairie Dog in reverse. We all need a chance to chill out, relax, retreat, and reset. Prairie Dog is about retreat. Prairie Dog is knowing that prairie dogs are very communal. Prairie dogs are very community-oriented. They have those vast prairie dog towns, right, with those skinny tunnels. So they're always like, they're in each other's faces all the time. And so they have to know how to react to each other. They have to be tight-knit, literally. And so to help with that, they always have chambers in their prairie dog towns where the individual prairie dogs can go to be on their own, to be in their own energy. So that, because they know that to become the best citizen, they need to be the best self that they can be. And so they need time away from the community in order to be that better member of the community. So don't, again, and this seems to, I know this came up in a couple of different cards, don't don't expend more energy than you need to. Don't expend your energy to help others to the point that it is draining you, because at that point, you're not helping. If it's draining you, it's not helping the other person. Then the other person is taking that energy from you and the whole idea of healing is to raise the frequency of everybody involved to help others find their own heart, their own high frequency. So if they're taking your energy in order to raise theirs, they're not getting there. And ultimately, that becomes another layer of energy that's not theirs, that they're going to have to shuck and get rid of in order to find their own energy rising to the surface. So don't be afraid to call out. Don't be afraid to retreat from the world. Don't be afraid to, seek out the darkness, to seek out solitude, to, again, get that sense of yourself without the energy of anyone else influencing you, okay? Because on the other side of it, Prairie Dog also points to how protected you are, how watched over you are, how safe you are. Because prairie dogs always have a sentinel on duty who's watching the skies, who's watching the horizon for predators, for hawks and eagles and coyotes and cougars and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And so because there's someone on duty to do that, the rest of the prairie dogs can release and go about their business. They can relax. They don't have to be all vigilant. Stand down. You are being watched over. You have so much protection. Like that, I don't know if you've ever seen that meme. It's like this little girl with this great big bear. And it says, if you could see how protected, like who is watching over you, you would never be afraid again. So trust. Get an itchy nose. That means that Spirit's here. You are so protected. It's okay to breathe. It's okay. It is okay to relax and to retreat because you are connected to Spirit. Your heart will let you know if there's a threat. The alarm goes up and the prairie dogs all know it and they scamper to safety. You don't need to be hypervigilant. You don't have to be watching for the next threat coming around the bend. There's someone whose job that is. You have so many guides and so many ancestors, so many angels watching over you. Just like everything else, rather than it being a contest of wills to protect yourself and to shield yourself and to protect yourself from the world. It's by surrendering that you come into your true strength. And it's that innocence and that surrendering that is your true... Innocence is its own defense. Just like Possum I was talking about, when you're innocent, when you're that pure light, there's nothing of a lower frequency that can come in. That's physics. That's normal physics. So be that light. Sometimes we have to seek out the darkness, like the cave, the womb, in order to re-nurture our light. Because we have to recharge our batteries in solitude to remember who we are in the heart of the matter. Who we are, what our default setting is, okay? So that is our evening tonight. I hope there was something for everybody in that. Thank you for everyone. Sorry about the people. It's interesting. I had a number of people coming in not realizing we were starting at 7. Even I've been going at 7 o'clock now for I think a month or so at least. So reschedule your clocks and remember we're at 7 o'clock again now. The other thing that was causing a schedule conflict is no longer there. And so it just made more sense to me to do this earlier at like a 7 o'clock rather than 8 o'clock. Plus, I do my Wednesday night live video at 7 o'clock as well. And so to keep that consistency, so you're not like, is it Monday or Wednesday? Is it 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock? So both Mondays and Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, you can see a live video with me right here on my Facebook page. Or if you miss it, you can, I always share it to my Facebook, Perching Wolf Studios Facebook page. And I also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So visit my YouTube channel. I've got over 2.5 years worth of these videos. You know, if you need some guidance, if you need to remember what was said with your card, you can check out there and re-listen to it, or you can just randomly choose a Monday medicine card reading from a year ago, 2 years ago, and you'll be surprised at how much it fits. You're so welcome, Cricket. Thank you. And thank you for sharing this video. Thank you for watching and supporting me. If you would like to support me further, I am very grateful for any donations you would like to send. My PayPal is going to be in the description underneath this video on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. And if you would like a personal reading, like you get 5 or more cards, visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and we can set up a session there from there. 15 minutes, half hour, whatever you choose. And then you can see what other shamanic services I offer, shamanic healings, with soul retrievals and such. I've got classes. I do mentoring, one-on-one shamanic mentoring if you're on the shamanic path and want to further that path. What else? And like I said, Wednesday nights at 7, I'm here doing a sacred pipe ceremony. You might know it as the peace pipe from Hollywood, but we do a sacred pipe ceremony to set sacred space and allow people in the middle of their week to take a breath, to take the world off their shoulders, and to connect through the pipe ceremony to Creator. So I believe that's it. So just thank you so much. I so appreciate your presence. I so appreciate your being here. Like I said, this is one of the highlights of my week, and I always enjoy it, and that's because of you. Thank you. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Until I see you next, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. A wonderful, wonderful week. Call on them spirit animals. Call on those power animals to help you through the week. That's what they're there for. And go shining, everyone. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.